We will continue protesting as much as we can. We will continue working with the Liberals or any other party with the spunk to fight back against this atrocity, and we will do whatever we can to make sure that Mr. Harper and his lying gang are thrown out of office. The sooner, the better.
And what would be your question to him today, if you could speak to him personally, if you get that opportunity?
I had a personal interview with Jim Flaherty, ma'am. There's not an awful lot of sense of talking to people who make up their minds and then turn off their ears. There's nothing that I could ask Harper or Flaherty, because I know the quality of the answer I would get. It would be nothing but spin. And I've had it with spin. I've had it up to here. I don't need any more of their spin. I need some action, and the action that we need isn't going to come from Harper, Flaherty, or any other of that lying gang.
And how has this affected your life on a personal level?
Oh, my investment portfolio was savaged by these people. Life goes on. I'm not eating cat food quite yet. But I don't have nearly as much money as I used to have to leave to my children or my grandchildren. But there are other people who were hurt in a way much more than I was. People who were desperate for the income and who now are wondering how they're going to pay their bills, how they're going to make ends meet month to month.
And I wonder, do you feel like you do live in a banana republic, however?
I've got a hunch that Venezuela and Mongolia are a lot easier institutions to deal with, because when you live there, at least you have some idea of what to expect. We thought we were living in a liberal democracy. Wake up and smell the coffee.
Well, us seniors are greatly concerned as to the future for our funds, how we're going to meet the increasing of prices of everything, and how we're going to manage. I mean, this is a blow to us, and we are most concerned, and today is why we've come to straighten this gentleman up if we can.
If you could ask our Prime Minister a question today, after Jim Flaherty's cuts yesterday, what would that question be?
What do you expect us, how do you expect us to manage if you keep this up? But really, I would like to see us being able to pay down the debt that is hanging over the heads of our children. This is the concern of mothers, is we don't want to leave our kids in debt, and this is what is concerning us the most.
I'm sure. I was also wondering, do you feel Canada's image has been damaged by the Conservatives changing the model of income trust?
I don't think damaged is the right word, because we Canadians don't sit by and let our country be damaged in any way. We do what we can. This is why we're here today.
What do you feel about this march and what we'll accomplish today?
Well, I think we need to raise the profile on the issue with Harper and Flaherty and make them understand that seniors are extremely concerned. I'm not a senior, but I am a baby boomer, and I'll be retiring in 11 years or so, and it's important to me to be able to have secure income, and I'm concerned that a lot of these people have put money into investments believing they knew what the associated responsibilities of it were, and now the rules have changed, and they can't change the rules of their income. So that to me is very disconcerting, and it's not fair, not appropriate, particularly when there were other courses of action that could have been taken.
Well, under NAFTA, you were ensured safety of your investments. How did you first react to this change without notice?
Well, I guess it caught everyone by surprise, really, because after the election promise of they would not tax income trusts, and then to turn around, everybody was gasping for breath and looking for ways to examine what had happened and determine, what's the course of action from here. People who still had the ability to stop putting money into income trusts and put it in other investments obviously would do so. Some people chose to cash theirs out. So it's a broken promise, and that's of concern, particularly because Mr. Harper's made such a point of promises being important in a matter of integrity. So he should be now questioning his own integrity.
We were wondering how this change in income trusts has affected you and your riding.
Well, a number of people, seniors in my riding, have invested, and they've called me. They were very upset about the broken promise. And one particular really moved me. It was a single mother. And she called me and said that because the Prime Minister promised that they would never be taxed, then she invested her son's educational money to going towards his education in income trust, and then lost a huge portion of it. And I was very upset about that.
Is this in energy resources mainly, or her investments were elsewhere, or?
She didn't say specifically which type of income trust it was, but because the Prime Minister had promised he wouldn't tax them, she doesn't have that much money being a single mother, so she put the money for her son's education into income trust. And then, of course, when the huge tax came out, the Harper tax came out on it, the value went way down. The value of her life savings for her child's education went down, and she was obviously very upset.
I'm just a retired guy with too much spare time in his hands, and I'm annoyed with our present government and all the lying that goes on with these characters. And you've got Mr. Harper, you've got Mr. Flaherty, and you've got Jack Layton, the whole bunch of them. Every time they're moving their lips, they're lying. And I say enough is enough with this crap.
You're here.
Exactly. And we're a group here, and I'm sure there's an awful lot more of us that like to be here, but for health reasons and that, they just can't make it.
Or can't afford it now.
Can't afford it, that's right. And if it was possible, this whole area will be just full of senior citizens if they could make it. And I just also want to tell you that we have compiled this petition with, believe it or not, 4,000 names of people that are unhappy with the income trust decision, and they all think that the route they should have taken was the one adopted by the Finance Committee, which allowed for a 10% tax refundable to Canadians. So this will be presented to Parliament and be recorded. And thank you all, you guys, for signing it. Major.
You want me to present this? Okay, we're going to present this to Parliament on your behalf. Thank you.
Have a picture together. 4,000 names. That's a lot of names, right?
That's a huge amount. And the effort.
How much did you lose by the broken promise? What did you hear? How much did you lose? 150,000. 200,000.
16 years worth.
35 billion.
And here's the proof. 18 pages of blacked out documents. It's a justification
That's what's an open government.
It's great that you're all here to mark the anniversary of the broken promise. I'm delighted that we have this 4,000 signatures, and you can be sure that these will be appropriately deposited and registered in the Parliament of Canada. And the other thing you can be sure of is that we in the Liberal Party, we're not going to forget about this. We're not going to let them sweep it under the carpet. We're totally committed to our policy, which I think most of you know, which is to scrap the 31.5% conservative tax and to replace it with a 10% tax, which is refundable to all Canadian residents. And the experts tell us that that will return some 2/3 of the lost value through the markets if we do this, which we will, as soon as we come to power. You can't put all of the toothpaste back in the tube, but we're doing everything we can to fix it as much as it can humanly be fixed, and that is the foundation of our policy. We will run on it in the next election. We're committed to it. All of my colleagues, our leader, the whole party is committed to it. So I thank you all for coming. Don't give up the struggle. We're with you. We're not going to give up for one moment. Thank you all.